Good afternoon, everybody. It is 5 p.m. and we will now begin our face-to-face learning orientation. But as part of our Catholic faith and our school tradition, please join me in prayer. Join me and Dr. G in prayer for civility before we begin. Thank you.
Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where uncivil words prevail, show me how to model love. Help me to remember the God-given dignity of all and invite others to do the same. Show me how to build bridges and not walls, and see first what unites us rather than how we diverge. Let me seek to understand before asking to be understood. Give me a listening heart filled with empathy and compassion. May I be clear in sharing my position and respectful and civil in describing those of others. Let me never tolerate hateful ideas. And may I invite all to charity and love. Lord, help me to imitate your compassion and mercy. Make me an instrument of your peace. Amen. Our Lady of Mount Carmel.
Pray for us.
In the Father, Son, and the Spirit.
Amen. Thank you, Dr. G, for leading us in prayer. Good evening, everyone. My name is Victoria De Leon Guerrero, and I am the Director of Institutional Development here at Mount Carmel School and your MC for this evening. I want to welcome you all to our face-to-face learning orientation for the 2020-2021 school year. Just like our previous online orientations, the recording of this presentation and our slides will be available on all our media outlets. This includes our social media platforms, the Knights Herald, and our school website. As you can see in the agenda, our first topic will focus on campus facilities that would be led by Mount Carmel School Business Manager, Mr. John Blanco. Next, we will shift our focus to safety procedures led by our school principal, Ms. Frances Tamanyao. And lastly, drop-off and pickup procedures will be led by our school president, Dr. Galvin De Leon Guerrero. At the end of our segment, we will hold a question and answer segment led by yours truly. Without further ado, Without further ado, I want to welcome School President, Dr. Galvin De Leon Guerrero for his welcoming remarks.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us for yet another orientation to help us all prepare for this new school year. This orientation is, of course, contingent upon Governor Ralph de Leon Torres allowing schools to reopen. As you all know, a couple of weeks ago, in response to community spread, some directives were issued that closed down face-to-face instruction. And that those directives are set to expire this coming weekend. And it seems that there have been no cases of community spread during this time. So we're hopeful that we will be able to offer face-to-face classes. So tonight is all about making sure we can do that safely. I want to take a moment to thank every single one of you, our parents, our students, our teachers, our administrators, our alumni, and everyone that has helped all of us make it through this. We indeed are very resilient because it hasn't been easy. It hasn't been easy dealing with the pandemic, with a lockdown, adjusting to the new normal of online learning and eventually hybrid cohort-based learning. But you know, we will make it through this because we always do. And we ask you to do more than just be patient with us and be understanding, but we ask you to join us as allies. As we've said many, many times before, we've been through some incredible tragedies, but we always make it through because we have faith in God, we have hope for a better tomorrow, and we have love for each other. That is why we are Knight Strong, and that is why we are Mariana Strong, and that is why and how we will get through this together. So thank you again for joining us tonight. We hope that you learn a lot, and more importantly, we hope that you learn how to be safe when you return to campus for face-to-face learning. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. G. As facilitated in our previous online orientations, participants can submit their questions in the comments section below or to your right. We are anticipating many questions this evening, so I can assure you that we will do our best to get through as many of them as we possibly can. Additionally, we will also be posting a frequently asked question document or an FAQ that will be published this week, basically common inquiries that have been posed to us at the school. That being said, I now welcome our business manager, Mr. John Blanco, to discuss campus facilities.
Thank you, Victoria. So over the past few months, Mount Carmel School has invested considerable time, money, and effort into retrofitting our campus to meet and exceed guidelines set forth by the governor's COVID-19 task force. We have set markers all over campus to guide and ensure physical distance of 6 feet. Where possible, student desks will have a plexiglass shield to minimize airflow between students. Dividers have been or are being installed in all our offices and restrooms to provide an additional layer of protection. We have installed UVC lighting fixtures in the classrooms. These fixtures disinfect the air circulated in the room and are safely positioned to avoid any contact with students, teachers, and parents. We have also installed new outdoor wash basins around campus to promote hand washing for all our students, teachers, and parents. Also, we have stepped up our efforts to routinely clean and disinfect our facilities. Classrooms will be cleaned and disinfected twice a day, once in the morning before students and teachers arrive, and once after students and teachers leave. Common areas like restrooms, the cafeteria, and offices will be cleaned more frequently throughout the day. Campus areas that could attract assemblies and congregations are closed off. These areas include the playground, the gym, and the canteen. Back to you, Victoria.
Thank you, John. In addition to our facility adjustments, we contracted the same company that the Commonwealth Healthcare Corporation and the Commonwealth Ports Authority contract for their commercial cleaning services. As a reminder again to our participants, if you have any questions throughout the presentation, please feel free to submit your questions in the comment section below or to your right. We will have a question and answer segment at the end of the presentation. And now I call on our school principal, Ms. Frances Tamnia, to discuss safety procedures.
Good afternoon, Mount Carmel School families. Welcome to our orientation. Thank you for giving us your time this afternoon. CNMI COVID-19 protocols. For this school year, we will follow the CNMI policies and procedures for COVID-19 prevention and control in education institutions. Mount Carmel School has also adopted its own policies and procedures for COVID-19 prevention and control that augment what is set forth in the CNMI guidelines. You can log on the school's website, www.mountcarmelSaipan.com, for more information on these protocols and procedures. If you've been on our campus, you have seen posters, distancing signs, entrance, exit signs posted inside and outside the classrooms to assist our students and teachers and for visitors to be guided. For physical distancing, all students will be required to maintain physical distancing of at least 6 feet at all times. Markers have been placed in the classrooms and around campus to guide students in following the physical distancing procedure. For personal protection, as a school and family, we are requiring all faculty and staff to be tested before the opening of the school year. By doing this, your child is protected and others too. For further personal protection, teachers and staff will wear face shields or masks. Plexiglass will be placed around the teachers' desks as well. All students will be required to wear face masks on campus. The school will provide extra masks in each classroom. Proper hand washing and hygiene will be taught and reinforced by all teachers. Thermometer and hand sanitizers will be readily available in all classrooms. Also, we would like to encourage parents to practice with their children the 3 W's. Wash your hands for at least 20 seconds. Watch your distance by observing distance of at least 6 feet, and wear a face covering at all times. Please note the following safety procedures and precautions for classroom learning. To support adequate physical distancing of at least 6 feet apart, the maximum number of students allowed in a classroom will be adjusted per grade level and depending on square footage of a classroom. To minimize congestion and congregations in the hallways and walkways, once students are on campus, they will remain in one classroom all day. Junior high and high school teachers will transition between classrooms for different subjects. Students will eat all meals in their classrooms. Breaks, recess will be taken in the classroom. Response procedures. What do we do with a staff or a student showing symptoms? These are the steps that the school will take in the event that anyone on campus displays symptoms of COVID-19. If any individual on campus shows symptoms of COVID-19, that individual will be escorted to a waiting room from where they will wait to leave campus. Physical distancing will be ensured within that room. Hand sanitizers will be available and the room will be deep cleaned and disinfected after each use. The room will be situated to allow for adequate supervision. If one confirmed case on campus, classroom cohort will be shut down and everyone in that area will transition to fully remote learning. If more than one case is confirmed on campus, the entire school will be shut down and everyone will transition to fully remote learning. During this new normal and challenging times, we ask everyone's cooperation and support. Our first and foremost priority right now is safety for everyone. We are all in this together. Thank you and God bless us all.
Thank you, Ms. Tanya. We haven't been getting too many questions so far. We're still welcoming questions. If you have any to pose throughout the presentation, please feel free to do so. I will be organizing them throughout the presentation. But for now, let's move forward. I now call on our school president, Dr. Galvin De Leon Guerrero, to give us an overview of our drop-off and pickup procedures.
Because everybody loves talking about traffic and parking. So here we go. So we are going to be using a new system this year for drop-off and pickup. So for the morning drop-off, we're going to have 3 stations. There's going to be the Maturana driveway, there's going to be the elementary gate, and then there's going to be the gym. When parents pull up for drop-off, each student should remain in their vehicles, and they will not be allowed to exit unless they're permitted by school officials. Now, once a student or a family of students exits their vehicle, they will be placed in a physically distanced line through which they will be guided towards screening points to take temperature and assess other symptoms. Once students are cleared, they will then proceed directly to the classroom. Now, please note that only one parent or authorized family member may walk their child to a classroom. So if mommy and daddy and Nino are there to take their first grade student to the classroom, we cannot permit that, as that will undermine our efforts to maintain physical distancing. Now, for afternoon pickup, parents and families will not be permitted to exit their vehicles at all. Instead, school personnel will utilize a digital tracking system to take students' names, summon those students, and then line them up safely for pickup. During both the morning and afternoon pickup, I should note that the business office and the main office will be closed in order to relieve congestion and allow staff to assist with supervision. In addition, for the afternoon pickup, we are going to have designated zones for grade levels. So the Maturana driveway will be reserved for students in K4, K5, and high school. For the elementary gate, that will be reserved for 1st, 2nd, and 3rd grades. And then for the gym, that will be reserved for 4th through 8th grades. Now, if you have children in multiple grade levels, please decide where you want to pick them up and then have your oldest child pick everyone up and then proceed to the pickup zone closest to that student. So this is an entirely new thing, and we know that it's going to take a little bit of getting used to. So perhaps a visual, a map will help. So what you see here is a top map of the campus. It points out where the elementary gate is, it points out where the Maturana driveway is, and it points out where the gym is. Now, for morning drop-off and afternoon pickup, we've worked with the Department of Public Safety's Traffic Division to allow traffic on Knight Street to run only one way eastbound during those times. This means that from Shirley's, the intersection just to the east of Shirley's near Uncle Jesse Bora's house, all the way down to right before Texas Road, that whole road will be one way going eastbound towards Susupi Lake. This means that, for example, when you pull in a Maturana driveway and you exit, you must turn right. You will not be allowed to turn left. This is so that we can relieve congestion and we can make sure that our students are safe. Again, though, these are the 3 areas for morning drop-off and afternoon pickup. And for afternoon pickup, the elementary gate is reserved for 1st through 3rd grade students. The Maturana driveway is reserved for K4 and K5, as well as high school. And the gym is reserved for grades 4 through 8. Now, if you have multiple students in multiple grade levels, please have the oldest one round everyone up and go to the closest one after that. Like I said, this is going to be difficult, and this is a difficult time for all of us, parents, students, and teachers. So now more than ever, we must be kind to one another. That means we got to be patient with each other, and we have to follow directions from teachers that are supervising morning drop-off and afternoon pickup. Please know that safety is our top priority, not driver convenience. I must repeat that. Safety is our top priority, not driver convenience. So if you are inconvenienced as a driver, while we're doing our best to make things run smoothly, know that your convenience is not as important as the safety of our students. And I think the best way to do all of this is to remember our school's mission, which is to educate the whole person to see with Christ's eyes. And this means that we need to see each other with the understanding and compassionate eyes of Christ. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. G. Okay, so we have some questions spilling in. I want to thank Dr. G, Ms. Tamino, and Mr. Blanco for sharing all that information with our participants. I am currently sorting our questions in chronological order, as well as whether it's focused on campus facilities, safety procedures, the drop-off and pickup procedures, or other. So let's start off with our first question. It is a drop-off and pickup question. So this is for you, Dr. G. Where will the testing be at in the morning?
Okay, so as soon as you drop off at the gate, we're going to send students into something like a TSA line, and it's going to be barricaded and in order to ensure distance between students. And in the Maturana driveway, it's going to be the 1st floor hallway of the Maturana building. In the elementary building, it's going to be right in front of the classrooms. And then at the gym, it's going to be in the gym. So you drop off there, and then you're going to have a teacher that greets you, welcomes you, and has the student line up. So basically, as soon as you drop off, you're going to be ushered to the safe TSA line.
Awesome, thank you. Our next question is safety and procedures. It's a good question. When do face-to-face classes start? So this is for you, Ms. Tamino.
Well, that is a good question, and Dr. G can probably add on to this. So right now, our target is September 8th, but we are waiting for any directive, right, Dr. G?
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Tamino. Yes, so on August 21st, Governor Torres issued amendments to his COVID-19 directives that directed all public and private schools to remain closed for in-person learning. And that directive is set to expire this weekend on September 6th. Now, those amendments or that directive was issued in response to community spread. There haven't been any cases of community spread since the directive was issued. So we are hopeful and we anticipate that the directive will be amended to allow public and private schools to offer in-person instruction, but that won't happen until this weekend. So we're planning on offering face-to-face classes on the 8th, but that may change. So we ask everyone to pay attention to our website, to all our social media outlets, as well as to our email correspondence system. You will hear from us one way or the other.
Thank you, Ms. Tamino and Dr. G. Our next question is another safety procedure question. What if we aren't ready to have our child start face-to-face? So this is for you, Ms. Tamino.
Okay, so like we've mentioned in the past online orientation, we will deal with, on a case-by-case basis. So please do email or give me a call, and because I need the name of the student so that I can get a hold of all the teachers and have them communicate with you. So email me or give me a call.
Awesome, thank you. Our next question is another safety and procedures question. It's more of a clarifying question. To clarify, if there is one positive case of COVID-19, the school will transition to online learning. Will this be the mode for the remaining school year or just temporary? For example, will online learning be for only 14 days and then back to campus for all students?
Okay, so like as I mentioned earlier, so if let's say the case is in one classroom, that particular classroom will be on remote learning, the entire class. And you know, they have to go through all the procedures of testing and quarantine, and again retesting. And then if we see that things turn out okay or to be negative, then we proceed on with the classes.
Awesome, thank you, Ms. Tamaniel. We already knew this question was gonna come up. This is for John Blanco. Are uniforms in?
You know, one of the biggest new normals is the whole process of getting things onto island, and that doesn't change for the uniforms as well. So right now the uniforms are inbound and they should be in island on Tuesday via ship through Korea. So it went a roundabout way through Thailand, then to Japan, then to Korea, and now to Saipan. Apologies to all the parents out there. We hope to have the uniforms in as soon as possible, and then we'll get them out. But I believe in the meantime, they will be able to wear clothing so long as it's
something blue.
Yeah, that matches, that's compliant with the handbook. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Our next question, and this is a wonderful question. So if we have children in different grade levels, where do we pick them up? Where do we drop them off and where do we pick them up? This is a drop-off pickup for Dr. G.
Okay, so it's kind of your choice. You've got multiple kids and they are all around campus. We do ask that for safety reasons that you have your eldest child go pick them up, and then just go to the point that is closest to the last student picked up. So if you've got a student in a senior who's got a sister in the 3rd grade, who's got a brother in kindergarten, basically they're going to go get them and then probably use the Maturana driveway. But it's really your choice on what works best for you. We've designed a system that no matter where you go for pickup, you'll be able to get your kids. That's our goal. So if you've got, we're going to be flexible if you've got multiple kids. But if you only have one kid or if both kids are like in the high school, then we ask that you stick to the Maturana, the designated area, because we're doing our best to minimize on-campus like pedestrian traffic. So if they go to the Maturana driveway, it's right there in their building.
Thank you, Dr. G. And this is just another clarifying for Ms. Tamaniel. If face-to-face learning will start on September 8th, and uniforms are still not in, what does my child wear?
We ask that your student, come to school with appropriate attire. Maybe something blue, like blue t-shirt to blend in with everyone. But we're just asking that, they come in with appropriate attire. If they do have like PE uniforms from last year, they can wear that as well until the uniforms come in. However, if they're new students, then just have them come in casual, appropriate, no
Awesome.
shorts.
Khaki.
Yes, there, khaki pants, if they have.
Yeah. Our uniform is this blue polo or a PE shirt, as well as khaki shorts or pants. So khaki is what we're going for.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Ms. Tamaniel. Okay, our next question is a drop-off and pickup question. If it's raining, is there any sort of cover area to drop the kids at the gym parking, at the gym entrance?
We are going to work on that. We are actually going to be setting up tents for the drop-off and pickup areas. And this is to house the teachers that are assisting with the traffic supervision. So we're working on that for the gym. And then for the elementary and Maturana gates, the way we're doing this is, and this is going to be important, if you're doing a drop-off, your kid cannot get out of the car until they're in front of the exit. Okay, some parents, a lot of parents do that, where they're like way back at like the front of the cathedral, and they have their kids get out and then walk over. We prefer that you not do that, because then what's going to happen is all these students are going to congregate at the elementary gate, and we're trying to keep students physically distant. So as long as you follow our guidelines and drop off at the gate itself, your kids will be covered. The Maturana driveway has a covered drop-off area. The elementary gate has a covered drop-off area. And in the gym, we will most likely have a tent as a covered drop-off area as well.
Awesome. Thank you, Dr. G. Our next question is for Ms. Tamanyao. What will the face-to-face schedule be like?
Wow. Okay. Where's Mr. Baldazzo? Okay, so for the face-to-face, for K4 to 6th grade, we'll be here Monday to Thursday. Monday will be from 7:30 to 1 o'clock. And then Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays is from 7:30 to 3. And then Fridays is online, asynchronous.
And then you want me to help Ms. Tamanyao with the 7 through 12?
Oh, I'm sorry, yes, 7 to 12. And
Yes.
then, yes, Dr. G, can you please
yes, sure.
go ahead with that? Mm-hmm.
So 7 to 12 on Mondays and Tuesdays, it's all online synchronous learning. And then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it's a 7-period schedule from 7:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. But students only come in cohorts. So Wednesdays are reserved for cohorts A and D. Thursdays are reserved for cohort B, and Fridays are reserved for cohort D. And students already know what cohorts they're in. So on Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, they are on campus for in-person learning by cohort. But Monday and Tuesday, strictly asynchronous online learning.
Thank you, Dr. G. Thank you, Ms. Tamanyao. Our next question is an apparel question again for Ms. Tamanyao. If the face-to-face classes are set to start on September 8th, and we don't have a jacket or a school jacket, can we wear our own jacket, and what kind?
Okay, in the past, I know that Dr. G has allowed students to wear either college jacket or blue or gray, or is it blue, Dr. G? Blue, but I know that we have also jackets available at the business office. Dr. G, would you like to add on to that?
Yeah, I'm not sure what our inventory is like in jackets, but maybe John can comment on that. If the inventory is difficult, then I guess we can be flexible. The main thing is that you either wear a collegiate type jacket, because we are a college prep school, or you wear something that has no prints on it. And part of the reason that we don't allow students to have any printed jackets or sweaters is that sometimes the print design, it can be inappropriate for a Catholic school. And also we're trying to, the whole point of a uniform is to try to make sure that everyone is on equal footing. But sometimes if you come in like with a designer jacket, right, it's just not the right fit for who we are at Mount Carmel School. But we'll be flexible. I'll defer here to John on what the inventory is like for jackets.
For the jackets, right now our selection is limited. However, the shipment does include a number of jackets. So right now, yeah, there's not much jackets to purchase at the business office.
All right. Thank you to all three of you. Our next question is it's a drop off and pickup question. What is the system for K-4 students when a parent needs to walk their child to their classroom as well as pick them up from their classroom?
So with K4, we might have more flexibility because the dismissal times are different. So we'll be flexible with K4 parents, but as we mentioned for morning drop-off, it really ought to be just one parent. We know that we all love our kids and it's the first day physically on campus at school, but we can't have the entire family battalion escorting the one kid to the classroom because then that undermines our physical distancing mitigation efforts. So we'll allow it as long as it's just one parent for K4. Now for K5, if you've got a K5 students, one parent can walk the child to the classroom, but for the pickup, the parent must stay in the car. And the reason is that if we allow parents to get down and go get their kids after school, that's where we have the most congestion. And we are doing our best to eliminate congestion in order to maintain physical distancing. So K5, you can walk them to the classroom, but we really discourage you from picking them up from the classroom after school. K4, like I said, we'll have more flexibility because the dismissal times are different than everyone else. Is that right, Ms. Tamina?
Yes, and can I add something, Dr. G?
Sure.
So for parents dropping off K4 or K5 students, they are only allowed to drop off the student and not to enter the classroom and sit with them or wait until they go to their place. They have to drop the student at the door and then leave immediately.
Good point. Thank you, Ms. Tamina.
Thank you both. Our next question is a safety procedure question for you, Ms. Tamanya. Who do we submit our child's lunch orders to? And will there be a canteen open this school year?
Okay, no canteen this year, sorry. But we're working with LSG and our teachers on how to put this all together. So I know Dr. G is coming up with some kind of a format for us to easily transmit information to LSG so that we can get our orders on time. So we will have the teachers contact you on placing your orders so that we can get all the bills readily available for the first day.
And if I could just point out that I don't know about the first day, but definitely on the second day, the child nutrition program over at PSS through the USDA grant, working with LSG, they're requiring that this time we pre-order our food. So it's not like in years past where you can just buy whatever's on stock. You have to pre-order. So teachers are going to take pre-orders from students the day before and submit that to LSG by the end of the day, so LSG can prepare the food for the next day. So it's going to take a lot of planning and foresight among, all our stakeholders, parents, students, and teachers.
And if I may, Ms. Victoria, we just would like to ask the parents that please to submit on time because there is a deadline that LSG gave to all the schools, and that is at 2 p.m. So anything after 2 p.m., they will not take orders. Thank you
both. Our next question, this is for both Dr. G and Ms. Tamania. If a student needs to be in a different classroom from their grade in order to take a certain class, what are the procedures for that situation?
I can answer that question. We are, in order to keep students safe, we are keeping most of them in the same classroom all day. There are a few exceptions though. There are students that need to take courses outside of their regular cohort or AP courses. So these unique courses, whether it be credits to ensure you graduate on time or it be an AP course, a limited number of students will be given hall passes that allows them to leave their cohort classroom for that one particular class and then come back after that one particular class. But this is going to be a very limited amount, and it's going to be very controlled. And it's not something we want to kind of announce like, oh, all these students can do that. We want to control the number of students walking in the hallways by giving them these hall passes.
Thank you, Dr. G. Our next question, this is a learning question. This is either Dr. G or Ms. Tamniak can take this question. It's a clarifying question. Can you please explain again the face-to-face cohort learning for 7th through 12th grade?
I'll explain that. So let's just go through the week, right? On Mondays and Tuesdays, the students are just online doing synchronous learning. This is live learning with their teachers on Mondays and Tuesdays, live online learning. On Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, different cohorts will be on campus for face-to-face learning. On Wednesdays, it's going to be cohort A and cohort D. On Thursdays, it's cohort B. And on Fridays, it's cohort C. When these cohorts are on campus, they are going to be on campus from 7:30 a.m. to 3 o'clock p.m. The schedule is also in the handbook, which is available on our website. And it's also included in the previous orientation slides, which are also available on our website and our various platforms. But again, for 7 through 12, on Mondays and Tuesdays, students are doing online synchronous learning off campus. And on Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, it's all by cohort. So Wednesday is cohort A and D, Thursday is cohort B, and Friday is cohort C. Those cohorts report to campus for face-to-face learning from 7:30 a.m. to 3 o'clock p.m.
Thank you, Dr. G. This next question is a safety question. Do parents need to get tested in order to walk their child to the classroom? Their K-4 child to their classroom.
No, we, well, if they want to get tested, it's up to them, but we do require our teachers to be tested. So we can't, as a school, we can't really tell the parents, oh, you have to be tested. It's up to them. They want to be tested, yes, but as a school, we require our staff to be tested.
Yeah. And we should point out that this is one of the reasons why we are going above and beyond even the CDC's guidelines. One of the CHCC healthcare professionals said that the best way to operate is to assume that everybody has the virus and behave accordingly. So physical distancing, requiring face masks, using desk shields, using UV lighting, using regular cleaning and disinfecting. These are all steps you take if someone has it. So that's why we're doing all of that, because we don't know if someone's going to have it or not have it, okay? But the safety procedures that we are following and the measures that we are taking mitigate against the spread and are going above and beyond what is recommended by even the CDC. So although we can't require parents to get tested, all our measures in place are designed to prevent any symptomatic or asymptomatic vectors from transmitting it or spreading it.
Thank you, Dr. G. This next question is a drop-off and pickup question, so back to you.
Okay.
For new students, are parents allowed to follow their child, or do the staff show them their way to their class? For example, a first grader.
So for the drop-off, we will allow one parent or one family member to follow the child. We will also have staff available to guide you to the classroom. So the answer is both. We just don't want entire families, battalions of families walking kids to classrooms, because that would not be following physical distancing. So yes to one parent and yes to staff guiding students to their classrooms.
Thank you, Dr. G. Our next question, I'm going to refer this back to you, Dr. G. It's a kind of like it's a learning question, so even Ms. Tamanya can hop in if appropriate. What if a student in cohort C is taking a class with a different grade that only has it accessible to others?
These theoretical questions are getting very specific and are best reserved for Mr. Baldazzo. When we had our online learning orientation, we made it crystal clear to everyone that if you've got a unique set of needs like that, then you need to work with Mr. Baldazzo. Exploring a theoretical question like that in this context doesn't really help anyone. The best way we can address this question or concern and respond to it is if for whoever it is to reach out to Mr. Baldazzo, because he has been working day in and day out to ensure that students' schedules are working.
Thank you. So yes, some things this specific will require more intimate or intimate engagement.
I mean, because like then when we have a lot of questions like, okay, what classes are you talking about? What credits are you trying to satisfy?
Mm-hmm.
You know, what grade levels are you referring to with these other classes? And, you know, we can't discuss that here. It's best left to discussing with Mr. Baldazzo.
Yeah, especially if it's a specific case, right?
Yeah,
or
exactly.
Student. Awesome, thank you. Our next question is another safety question. This was similar to a previous question before for Ms. Tamanyao. Can we drop lunch for our kid? And also, where do we drop our child's lunch?
Okay, yes, you can drop your child's lunch to the high school office with Miss Liani, and then we will drop it over to your child's class. But we will not allow parents to drop it off to the classroom. You will have to drop it here at the high school office, and then we will get it to your child.
Thank you, Ms. Tamanya. All right, our next question is a safety question. Should we make our kids use a face mask or a face shield?
It's up to the parents, you know, whatever is more comfortable for the child. But using both, I don't know. You know, that's going to be hard for the child to breathe. So whatever is more comfortable for the student.
Thank you, Ms. Tamanya. All right, so that was question number 20 for the evening. I am looking at our Facebook feed. There haven't been any questions submitted so far. But again, if anyone has additional questions, we're here. We're doing this live. Please feel free to submit your questions in the comments section. But otherwise, I want to give it like a good second.
Yeah. And V, weren't
just in case.
Weren't you working on some kind of FAQ thing for the school?
Yes, right. So parents, if after this event, we're going to publish this recording on our social media platforms, as well as our slides on all of our media platforms. It's going to be available on our website. This recording will be available on our website, but we're also working on a FAQ document, a frequently asked question document that we're going to publish. We've been trying to literally get this FAQ document out to everybody in a timely manner, but with how things are changing so constantly, we want to make sure that we can get as many of the questions answered accordingly. So we've waited for the final online orientation, which is the face-to-face orientation. So that FAQ will be published by the end of the week. And it really has most of the reoccurring questions that all of you awesome individuals have been asking us. We take engagement with our stakeholders, with our community very seriously. It is a top priority for all of us. So again, I'm looking, and here we go. We got a question. This is a learning question. Now, please forgive me. I just saw it. I'm going to do my best, okay? Right now, 7th graders have synchronous learning on midday from 7:30 to 12:25, covering 3 periods. and Tuesdays from 7:30 to 3 p.m. covering 4 classes. Did I hear it correctly that it will now be Mondays and Tuesdays from 7 to 12, and it will cover all 7 periods?
Oh,
So
I think I
yeah, so I
know.
think that it's just a matter of the adjustment, the
So
adjusted schedule now versus next week. Yeah.
yeah. So there are two things that we need to announce. Yeah, the Monday and Tuesday block schedules, we're going to continue that. That's not going to change. Okay. So Monday it's first, second, and third period, and then Tuesday it's fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh period. Next week is a little different because Monday is a holiday. So rather than just canceling first, second, and third period, we're going to run all 7 periods on Tuesday, but all synchronously online. So it's not by cohort, it's just all 7 periods on Tuesday from 7:30 a.m. to 3 p.m., all cohorts. That's was what might be a little confusing. Every now and then we'll have to adjust if there's like a holiday or something that disrupts our class schedules.
Thank you, Dr. G. Sorry, sometimes the lag is just me copying and pasting another
No
question.
problem.
Okay. I also, as the person who kind of runs media for our school, I think many of our parents have noticed that we have the Knights Herald back up and running. It's been effective now because we've transitioned to G Suite. And each and every day, the bell schedule for that particular day is posted. So if there, and we also do our best to give parents and students an advance notice if there are any changes with the schedule or any upcoming events in the school year. So just know that in the Knights Herald, it will show you what the schedule is for that day. We do want to keep it consistent, right, and have a routine set so everyone is comfortable with it. But just depending on the needs of safety for our entire community, of course, we have to adjust accordingly. So parents, please just know that that schedule will be posted in the Knights Herald. It is a daily post Monday to Friday so that you know what your child, what the schedule is and what to expect from Mount Carmel School. Yes. So our next question is a drop off and pickup question. This was a similar question from earlier. What does the screening process look like for students as they arrive on campus?
Okay, so it's a simple process. We do a temperature check, and we also ask if they're exhibiting or feeling any symptoms. It's the same procedure that is used at the hospital. As soon as you arrive, whether it's the family clinic or the ER, you get a temperature check and you are asked if you've had any symptoms. And even after that, you still have to maintain physical distancing, wear a face mask, follow all those mitigation efforts. So we're following the exact same procedure that they're doing at the hospital. And because we know who the students are, we have their names, we have their contact information. So we also have all the information we need for tracing.
Thank you, Dr. G. This is another drop-off and pickup question. If a parent is dropping and escorting their child to class, how is the school going to coordinate this when the parking spaces are filled up, as it has happened in the past? Some parents parking block traffic and create chaos.
So this is where we appeal to you parents to be kind to one another. Be kind by not parking in the middle of the road, because we know that some parents do that. And also be kind and being patient with each other. Be patient with us. We use our teachers as traffic supervisors, as parking cops, as lunchtime monitors. And, they do their best. And we do our best with our staff, with our campus security. So there are going to be times where drivers slip through the cracks. And we do our best to respond, but we also ask everyone to be patient with us. This system that we have set up in place right now is going to take a bit of enforcement, but if it's followed, then traffic may be slow, but parents will not be able to park in the middle of a driveway, because if they want to drop their kid off at the main gate, they've got to wait until their turn. So there may be limited parking in the cathedral parking lot or in the gym area or even in the Maturana driveway. So we just ask parents to be patient with us and to be patient with each other. We know that there's going to be that one parent who's like rushing or maybe, you know, having a bad morning and not thinking everything through, and they're going to park where they shouldn't park. We will do our best to, you know, catch that and prevent that. But if we don't prevent that, you know, we ask that everyone be patient with us. And like I said earlier, be kind. We'll do our best. If the system works, that won't happen. But we know that sometimes there are things beyond our control. And we just ask everyone to be patient and be kind.
Thank you, Dr. G. Our next question is a safety somewhat facility question. So Mr. Blanco, hop in if you feel this is also something you can answer. This is somewhat of a lower grade question, and I'm sure that I could also ask my student's teacher. But I was wondering if there is an SOP on restroom usage.
Okay, for the opening of the face-to-face, we did advise all teachers that when sending students to the restrooms, that they do it, you know, one by one, not in pairs or in groups, so that we still follow the social distancing protocol. So that's what we've given out to the teachers.
And I'm
Thank
sure
you.
that if we have, like, let's say, if it's a kindergarten student, K4, K5, maybe the teacher aide can
The
assist,
teacher aide,
right,
yes,
can
the teacher
guide.
aide.
And then if it's a first grade student, maybe we can call staff to assist, but we can't have the teacher leave the room.
Oh, no.
Thank you both. This is a drop-off and pickup question. What can I do if I need to drop off and accompany my son to class who happens to be in the K4 level? But I also have a 2-year-old with me in the car. I don't have anyone else to wait with her in my vehicle.
I don't know. We really are trying to minimize the number of people on campus. And if you bring your 2-year-old with you, you know, it's sort of like that slippery slope. So another parent will say, hey, but you let that person come in with another family member. So we are going to be kind of strict with this because we're really keeping safety as our top priority. I don't know the solution to that, quite honestly. Our staff could maybe assist. We could have a teacher aide assist in escorting your kindergarten student to the classroom. But that's something that we ask that you coordinate ahead of time. Don't just show up and say, okay, where's the teacher aide, right? So coordinate with the teacher ahead of time, and maybe even just exchange numbers, and then you call the teacher aide as soon as you're pulling up. But yeah, it's just a slippery slope. If we allow if we allow people to, more than one family member to follow a child to the classroom, then we open ourselves up to, you know, you give people an inch, others will take a mile, right? And we don't want to do that. We're doing our best to keep everyone safe and comply with the COVID-19 guidelines.
Thank you. Our next question. Sorry, just copying, pasting again. This is a safety question for Ms. Tamanya. My second grader has a hard time wearing a mask for over an hour. Can a face shield be used as an alternative option?
Yes, it's either a mask or a face shield.
Awesome. And then the next question is to kind of comment on that. And we have some parents jumping in on this as well. Safety, and Dr. G, feel free to jump in. Aren't face masks safer than face shields, with states choosing to specify that face shields do not replace the requirement of wearing a face mask? Can we or should we do the same? So I think her concern is mainly that a face shield, she feels that a face shield might not be as effective as a face mask, and if we should just follow the standards as the states.
Well, I mean, Ms. Tamino could probably comment on this because she's been working with these various agencies, but we've been working very closely with the COVID-19 Task Force, the Department of Public Health, and the Department of Public Works as well, and having them inspect our facilities and review our procedures and our guidelines. And there's some competing findings on the efficacy of face shields, as there are competing findings on the efficacy of face masks. But per the guidelines that we are following, both are acceptable. So as long as that's what we're being informed of from public health officials, then we're going to trust that that is acceptable for here in the CNMI. But I'll reiterate what we said earlier. We're doing more than just requiring face masks or face shields. We're also setting up plexiglass dividers for each desk. We are requiring physical distancing. We are frequently cleaning and disinfecting the classrooms and the common areas. We are putting up markers to show people how to stay physically distant. We are prohibiting any kind of congregating like at the playground, and we've installed UVC lighting fixtures to disinfect all the air that runs in a classroom. So you cannot look at anything in isolation. You need to look at this sort of concerted effort and how all these parts fit together. So if we were putting everything, investing everything in just face masks or face shields, then there would be cause for concern. But when you consider that face masks and face shields are part of this broader effort, then we're confident that that's what the best science and research tells us works right now.
Thank you, Dr. G. Yes, there was a very similar concern, and it was specifically how effective would a face shield be if a student sneezes or coughs compared to when a mask is worn. And just like Dr. G just said, on top of wearing either your face mask or face shield, we have the air sanitizer working throughout the day, as well as the plexiglass set up in front of their desk. And there is social distancing between each student. So there is that effort, just like he said. I just want to make sure that our parents also feel that their questions are heard, right? So that was a very similar concern with a very similar answer. Our next question is, how is the school going to enforce or prevent students from trying each other's cool face mask? Super cool.
Well, the teachers will just have to, educate our students that sharing right now, is a no-no. Okay, so the teachers are aware of that they need to work extra hard in enforcing these COVID-19 guidelines. And I know it's going to be hard. It's going to take a lot of practice, but students, they listen to their teachers. And I know that our teachers will do a good job in enforcing that.
Thank you, Ms. Tamanio. And also, it takes a village to raise a child, right? We also ask the help of our parents to enforce this value among our kids, that sharing at this point is just it's not good, especially sharing your mask. Definitely, reach out to your kids and have that sit down talk with your child to make sure that they know how important it is to remain socially distant. They know how important it is to not share their masks, to share their items, because also in our school supply list, we make it very clear that hand sanitizers are for personal use. Kleenex are for personal use, right? It's not meant to be shared, it's meant for you. So we ask that our parents also help us out by instilling those values into your child as well as our students, okay? Thank you. Our next question is a safety procedure question. Do we wear masks or face shields when we have PE classes? So this is definitely from a student, and I guess it's a matter of when we have face-to-face, or when students have face-to-face classes for PE, are they, one, going to be held traditionally, and two, do they have to wear a face shield or face mask? So Ms. Tamania and Dr. G, I'll defer to you.
Okay, I know I spoke to Mr. Santa Claus regarding PE classes. So during FaceTime or face-to-face instruction, they will be in the classrooms. So no outside activities, according to coach. So definitely they have to wear either a face mask or a face shield for that particular day.
And if I could just add to that, I know that Coach has gotten very creative. And I think one of the things he realizes is that while students are home, while they're on Zoom, they don't need to wear face masks. So he's, because it's hard to work out if you can't breathe, right? So he's having them do physical activities. I think he's going to have them do physical activities on Zoom. And then for face-to-face instruction, it's going to be more about health and wellness.
Thank you both. Okay, so we've come to a halt again in terms of our questions coming in from
it's 6 o'clock,
parents.
so hey.
Yeah, it is 6 o'clock. So Dr. G, how do we feel about the remaining time of our question and answer segment?
Well, I mean, let's see if maybe one more question comes in, then we'll answer that. But if not, then
Got it.
Okay.
Got the next question. What time will these screening stations be closed in the morning? Our kids are never late, smiley face. But if they are,
Okay.
we drop them to the high school office?
No, so this is a drop-off pickup question. We've anticipated this. We've anticipated people being late. We've also anticipated that the line might take a while. So the screening area will actually run from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. And to make sure there's adequate time. It's just like TSA, right? You want to give yourself time before boarding. We've also added a few extra minutes to the first period each day, so that for face-to-face learning, so that if a student is late or held back, they won't lose too much instructional time. So, yeah, they'll be open for about an hour, and we think that'll work. And yes, if they're late, like let's say they have like a doctor's appointment and they're coming in at 9 or 10, then in that case they go to the main office at the Maturana building. And we have our security guard there doing temperature checks and symptom checks for everyone that arrives.
Thank you, Dr. G. Okay, our next question. I want to make sure I got this right. Is there any uniform policies or procedures for MCS or for face masks, basically? Is there any regulation to the face masks at this time?
Well, I mean, we have our policy, our handbook states that whenever there's a deviation from the uniform, whether it's dress down or dress up, the main thing is that you don't wear anything that is contrary to the Christian character of our school. So if you wear a face mask that promotes violence or promotes Satanism or promotes anything offensive or inappropriate, then
Drug use.
that is unacceptable. Yeah, drug use, alcohol, tobacco. Yeah, we will have extra face masks, so we'll give you one to wear. And you can also get these nice face masks at the business office, right? Got these cool Mount Carmel face masks.
Yeah.
But this is not required. This is just optional.
Available at the Mount Carmel School business office.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. G. I want to do a quick shout out to our Vice Principal, Mr. Baldazzo. He is with us tonight on our online event, and he has confirmed that, yes, for those very specific circumstances, he would be happy to assist our students to make sure that they get the classes that they need to either promote to the next grade level or graduate. So thank you, Mr. Baldazzo. Shout out to you.
Yeah.
Our next question is it's a safety/learning question. For face-to-face learning come next week, should it start next week, what supplies should students bring to school?
I know that when we had our resource pickup week, the teachers actually gave out a supply list. So please follow the homeroom teacher supply list. for grades K4 to 6. And then for 7 to 12, I think each particular teacher have, they have their own list for their requirements. So, take a look at that. And then also, I think we have it on our website, right, Ms. V?
Can you repeat that question to me? I'm sorry, I'm sorting at the same time.
Our supply list, it's on our website as well.
If you go through the supply list, you can also see that very specific teachers too have asked to for students or parents to purchase little bins so that their stuff can or their belongings can sit on the ground cleanly, right? So you can purchase a bin for your child's supplies. It's going to be okay because we're not allowing lockers this school year with the pandemic. All of our students are staying in one class, so it will be concentrated in that area. All right. So our next question is a drop-off and pickup question. What time is better for us to go to school in the morning, just in case if we go early and the class is still locked?
Do not come here before 7 a.m. Do not come here before 7 a.m. Do not come here before 7 a.m. We have some parents that have done that in the years past, and the kids just kind of roam around campus, okay? You can start. We will open up the drop-off areas beginning at 7 a.m. each day. If you come before that, we will not let you in. The gates will be locked. They will be closed. We will not let you in. So if you need to get early, the earliest you can line up is at 7 a.m. And we have a very strict and coordinated policy for our teachers to ensure that they are in their classrooms. I know in years past, because students go straight to the classroom, if the teacher's late, the classroom is locked, and then there's congregating. That will not happen this year. We're going to line everyone up in our TSA screening lines, and as soon as they clear that line, they go straight to their classroom. And if a teacher is not going to be in the classroom, we will make sure we have a substitute ready to be in that classroom so that students will never have to come up to a classroom that is either locked or without a teacher. But don't come before 7 a.m. Do not come before 7. And I'm sorry, I have to keep repeating that because we've had families that do that. They drop their kids off at like 6:30. And I don't know, maybe it's like they're going to 6 a.m. mass and mass is over and they say, okay, son, just go to school. And we can't have that. That's just not safe. We can't have people roaming here.
It's a new norm. We really can't allow that. Yeah. So we just ask for everyone's cooperation. It's really for the sake of safety. Thank you, Dr. G. Our next question is, how much is an MCS mask?
That's a John Blanco question.
That's a John Blanco question. How much is a MCS face mask?
They're going for about $10 right now. So come on over to the MCS business office and pick one up. Other than that, the regular face masks, if there's a face mask that are broken, I know V answered that already, they're free. But don't show up to campus without a face mask and then expect to just get a free face mask.
Yeah.
That's it.
Thank you, John. He's been dying for a question.
Let's ask him questions.
Okay, so our next question is and I saw that you answered it, Dr. G, on our comment, right? But just for the sake of everyone or convenience, will the school be selling face masks in case a student loses their face mask, or if they break it, or give it? Oh, don't give the face mask. No, don't do that.
As Ms. Tamino mentioned earlier, each classroom will have a supply of extra backup face masks. And those will be free, but like John said, don't be one of those freeloaders, right, that just shows up every day without a mask. It's more if like a mask breaks in the classroom, because as soon as you arrive, we expect you to be wearing a mask or a face shield.
Thank you. Our next question is more of a learning / scheduling question. Just to clarify, for the K4 schedule, Mondays are from 7:30 to 1. Tuesdays and Thursdays are from 7:30 to 3. Will they be divided in half AM or PM session, or do all K4 students attend face-to-face at the same time?
I'll answer that, Dr. G.
Go right
For kinder, for Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, it's AM and PM. So AM session comes in from 7:30 to 11, and PM session comes in from 12:30 to 3. So
Thank you.
it's a double session.
Right. Well, also, just as a reminder to our parents, we, like I said earlier, in the Knights Herald that we email to all of our parents, we post the schedule for that day. And if there are any changes to the schedule, then we will let parents know well in advance through the Knights Herald. We do also publish any information that needs to be out in terms of upcoming events on our social media platforms. But if you're concerned about a specific day of the week, just refer to the Knights Herald for that day, and you'll know what schedule your child will follow for that day.
And K4 is unique, so it's also just reach out to the teacher. Your teacher will know.
Yes. I think this was the same parent who asked about the K4 child, as well as having a 2-year-old in the car.
Okay.
My suggestion also to our parents with a very similar situation is to engage with your teacher, because especially for the lower grade levels, K4 and K5, as well as the first graders, they typically have a teacher aide. So if your child needs help getting to the classroom, a lot of our teachers are also our teachers who are also ushers throughout the pickup and drop off procedure, right, throughout the day, or processing. So if you need your child to be escorted and you're not able to get down, or you're not able to park, or you're not able to just drive off, right, drop your child and leave, then coordinate with your teachers to see what they can do to assist you, right? Well, we're more than happy to be flexible with our parents and their needs. Just let us know and we'll see what we can do. So yeah. I am going through the comments and we're at another halt. Okay, so time check. It is 6:11 p.m. All right. That was number 33. We've gone through 33 questions. I can't even speak properly at this point. 33 questions now. So Dr. G, I'm gonna let you call it. How do you feel so far? We haven't gotten a question yet.
You know, like we've done with our previous orientations and online sessions, we ran our actual presentation was only 15 minutes, and we've given parents an hour for questions. So I think we've been more than generous. I think if there's another question, maybe we have time for one more question, but if you have questions, we do our best to be very responsive. You can reach us via email, you can call us, you can check us out on our social media outlets. We do our best to respond. So if we didn't answer your question today or get around to it, check out the FAQ document that you're going to be posting, right, V?
Yes.
And also don't hesitate to reach out to us. So maybe one more question. Okay,
last question. And this will be the last question. I'm so sorry. This is for the very popular Mr. John Blanco. He gets the last and final one. Yeah. Is there online shopping for the school bookstore and or curbside pickup for uniforms and masks?
Those are all still under development. We still have our online shopping platform being worked on with eCatholic, and we hope to have that up soon. But just like with everything else, you're gonna have to wait a little bit. I saw that post, Jadine. We'll work on that. We'll get back to you as soon as we can on that.
Yeah.
Thank you, John. All right. I will say that the FAQ will be posted by the end of the week. We'll let you know. The recording will be on our media platforms. The FAQ will be up as soon as possible, no later than Friday. But 33 questions in one night, there's a lot to sort through. So we'll do our best.
Not bad.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us this evening for our online face-to-face orientation. This has been quite a journey, and we thank all of our parents, all our students and community members for their patience, for their support, and their never-ending trust. Oh, their trust in Mount Carmel School. We are working so hard to make sure that your kids are safe and that they are still getting the quality education that your child deserves. Our mission is to educate the whole person to see with Christ's eyes. And it's not only just how we educate our students, but also how we lead and how we follow. So thank you everybody for joining us. Have a blessed night.